I didn't show the dead screen. Three bees. It's like three bees flying around in a cat's head. Hello. Shout outs to that guy. Okay. Donnie Darko, The Matrix. I didn't see the one on the right. Oh, settings. Just double check. That's fine. Point and click buys. I should have queued this up for last week before the other stuff, but whatever. Fear no more, says the heart, committing its burden to some sea, which sighs collectively for all stars and renews, begins, collects, lets fall. Virginia Woolf. It's a cliche to begin with a quote. You know this, but you're a fool. Besides, in order to make good work that reaches past mere juvenilia, you must expel your stupidest words, all 1,000,000 of them. Put them down so they may die. Your name is Mara Whitefish. You lived on an island for most of your life. Now you spend your days in transit. Ballistic X versus Sever Standy? Really? Okay. Oh, white noise generator. GameCube. That could be a DVD player or an Xbox. It's the year 2003. It's definitely... Oh, no, the old Xbox could have looked at that. You're a freshman at State University of Creative Studies in the city. The semester's almost over. So long commute to school from your mother's apartment on the mainland. Instead of riding home, you often end up sleeping at Daniel's place. No one here seems to mind. Hello. Oh, hey, I forgot you crashed. Yeah, I was pretty zonked. Zonked? Where did that shit come from? The language evolves, you dick. Get used to it. Diner breakfast? No, I'm broke till Friday. Daniel's been your friend since high school. These days, you might even call him your best friend. In fact, it's possible you chose to attend sucks, an effortless decision you were repeatedly assured is the biggest of your life thus far, because Daniel chose it. Daniel's tastes have rarely led you astray. You trust him to fill in the gaps of your judgment, of which you fear there are many. I can make us something, though. Sure. It's your trusty noise machine, a simulator of ocean-like sounds that Dan and his roommates graciously allow you to keep at their place. By allow, of course, we mean that no one has ever noticed its presence, let alone voice an opinion about it. Promotional cardboard standee of the movie Ballistic X versus Sever. What was I called it? It says Ballistic, it's pretty obvious. 2002 lives behind the apartment couch. Although you've never seen the film, you know it represents a dearth of creative output in Hollywood, its original script having been rewritten into oblivion. Not to mention a devastating $50 million loss for franchise pictures and Warner Brothers Entertainment. From what you understand, the standee was acquired through great hardship by one of Daniel's former roommates, who smuggled it home after closing up at a theater of his employ. Having what Daniel describes as a hulking presence, he was able to walk it home under his coat in one piece. Since moving out, the standee's gargantuan owner has repeatedly promised to return for his treasure. The fact that he lives on the West Coast now does not bode well. Battered living room camping chair has been in the unfolded position for so long that it no longer refolds. Until recently, an impressive number of crumbs had accumulated in the seat's deepest point. All gone in a single dare. From here you can see the alleyway between this and the neighboring building. During the day, the building's super can often be seen, moving broken appliances and chaotic assortment of building supplies. At night, the visual is pure blackness, accompanied by a symphony of cats in the violent throes of life. Party hard. You sustain more than one splinter from the worn hardwood floors of Daniel's apartment. Just one of an abundance of reasons we never walk barefoot here. Got a pair of console controllers live permanently on the floor. PlayStation 2. Oh, it's a fat PS2. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be the drawer, wouldn't it? I don't have my fat one anymore. I don't want to look it over there. Live on this media rack. Unfortunately for the boys, they're effectively inoperable without a TV set. Yeah, 2003 was pre-Xbox. I should have known that. I don't have the best connection with time. I'm sorry. This media rack has been in the apartment for so long that no one remembers its original owner. It's possible that it's always been here. That's the floor again. Computer. Since the roommate with the TV moved out, Daniel and the boys have relied on this errant laptop and speaker set to watch movies. The picture and sound quality are as bad as one would expect. Oh, let me do that again. And the whole system needs to be painstakingly restarted if the power connector is nudged. That said, you've watched a considerable number of films and TV shows on here, ones you now regret never seeing. It is certainly an example of life finding a way. Door leads to a hallway of Daniel's building. Stairwell leads down to the city street. Turn acts as a divider between the living area and an unknown number of bedrooms, each containing its own unknown number of curtains, subdividing an unknown number of beds. Do not sleep behind the curtain. Even in an environment where people come and go freely, there must be some boundaries. You did just offer to make breakfast for Daniel. You'd better at least gesture towards that promise before you leave for the day. You're home away from home. You spent many hazy mornings waking up on this lumpy couch, probably almost as many nights falling asleep on it. It's you, Mara Whitefish. You're 18 years old and you want to be a writer, and according to you, at least one emotionally high maintenance professor, you should already be calling yourself one. You're attending university in the city. You grew up on a small semi-remote island where you lived until about a year and a half ago. The city in the mainland from which you commute still holds such fresh promise to you. You have not been back to perfect tide since you left. Okay. Alright, I'm out. Bye, darling. Later. Hey, Laura. Hiya. You are sheepish around Daniel's roommate, Gray. He is the most noticeably busy of all the characters who come and go from this place. Sorry, excuse me. Rosetta is a fine arts program. It sucks. Your humanities classes occasionally overlap. She's dating Daniel's roommate, Gray. The two of you get along well, both being self-described shy girls who hated high school. Although she carries herself reservedly and occasionally possesses a look of last-moment alive terror, you think she is very pretty. Although she doesn't officially live in this apartment, Rosetta is here at least as often as you are. This only contributes to the anxious feeling that you're pestering Daniel like a girlfriend without actually dating him. You comfort yourself with the knowledge that you spend a fraction of the time Rosetta does on personal hygiene and beauty, occupying the bathroom only long enough to relieve yourself and thumb through the same 3 steam-crinkled issues of Juxtapose. There's a save somewhere. There we go. Can't beat the classics. Despite having most windows of any room in Daniel's apartment, the air of the kitchen is stuffy and unpleasant. The I was in the way. It's like, why is the A messed up? Seemingly trapping the scent of every frozen chicken nugget, milk-soaked Fruit Loop, and White Castle order that enters its walls. You open the microwave once, and you shall not do so again. Okay, that's the windows again. Lower shelves of the kitchen cabinets are sparsely populated with a melee of dishes, cups, and bowls. The upper shelves, as always, are unreachable and therefore irrelevant to you. And since humans stop growing taller around 18, they always will be. I'll grow a little more. Sure, Mara. Is it really worth delaying your acceptance of the situation for the prayer of a little more home storage? You try your hardest not to look at the contents of the counter, and looking at it now, you are reminded why. Apart from the occasional boiling of macaroni and cheese, which Daniel then eats directly from the pot, you're probably the only one who uses this stove. Your skills and interests in the kitchen have grown since becoming a vegetarian. These days, you can consistently reproduce a handful of good recipes. Still, you try to limit your time here. Cleanup, which you know in advance will be your job, is far too burdensome. Besides, you're literally the only person who can stomach the flavor and texture of tofu. As helpful as you try to be around the kitchen, there's absolutely no occasion on which the garbage is your problem. This rug was actually a gift from you. You picked it up for $2 at a flea market shortly after an incident in which you, not wanting to be a burden, washed all the boys' dishes. This resulted in Daniel's roommate, Gray, sleeping in a small pool of water by the sink, an area he generally expected to be bone dry. You suspect Gray is still peeved about the whole thing, including the presence of the rug. It's one of the many instances where you seem to be compounding how annoying you are through ever-heightening apologies. That's a vibe. There's not a single matching set of chairs, or any object, really, in Daniel's apartment. Even the cutlery is cobbled together from dozens of different sets. Daniel Davis. You went to high school with him, but didn't interact for most of it. The summer between junior and senior year, you got up the nerve to ask him to platonically watch Spirited Away with you. You've been hanging out ever since. He is a good friend, in more ways than you can count for yourself. He asks you about your interests, even when he doesn't share them. He reads your writing and gives opinions that you trust. And he doesn't... Oh, shit, I gotta still edit a written project. Alright, well, that's another project for this week. Oops. When you see him about, he doesn't mind that you spend about half your week hanging out and crashing at his apartment. At least he doesn't seem to. Actually, that's the main downside of your friendship with Daniel. You're often not sure how he's feeling. On occasion, you get the sense that he doesn't want you around, and just won't say so. You fall into more than one spiral wondering what Daniel thinks of you. The thing is, every time you've had this crisis and put some space between you, he invites you out again. So, are you just crazy? The data is inconclusive. Been many breakfast writing sessions and arguments about movies at this table. I wanted to see if it would tell me what beer's on there. It's one of those magical places that seems to inspire a creative flow state. The boys have long threatened to remove the table completely in favor of a home-built arcade cabinet, but so far their lack of ambition on this front has been to your advantage. Godzilla noise. Fantastic. I was wondering if that would provide something. What are you reading? Being John Malkovich. Oh yeah, Charlie Kaufman. You seen it? No, I've just heard enough to know everything about it. It's not bad, kind of meta. I've heard that. It's actually sort of perverse the way you're transported into another mind. I've heard that too. God. I have been like this on more than one occasion. You should see some of the things that you've heard about. It's at the library. Sure, you get right to that when you learn how to freeze time. Daniel is shockingly adept at absorbing in it new and interesting works. He's seemingly able to drop everything in the pursuit of knowledge to chart endless pathways of curiosity. You just don't have the knack for this. Your thoughts are desperately monogamous, unable to pivot until they've been painstakingly explored. Oh, there's your hyperfixation. We're autism coded. Go figure. Also the overthinking social stuff. I'm starving. I forgot to have dinner last night. What do you want to eat? Anything. What's in the fridge? You're pretty sure the eggs you've been keeping in Daniel's fridge are still fresh and intact. Daniel's roommates tend to leave unclaimed food alone unless it's ready-made. We talk to Rosetta real quick. Oh, sorry. Rosetta takes a moment to realize you're speaking to her, even though you've addressed her by name. Oh, hi, Mara. Did I wake you walking through? Nope. I didn't even hear you moving when I'm awake. What'd you guys get up to last night? Once again, Rosetta doesn't seem to realize you're speaking to her. Bro? Oh, my friend had this gallery show in the village. We were at that, and then at the after party, then her friend's loft. Wow, sounds fun. You're once again jealous of Rosetta's social life, a life which seems so much richer, both culturally and materially, than your own. How is a small, winsome girl from the mainland so well connected? You mentally hum a few verses of the same old song, about how you've chosen the wrong major, attended to the wrong classes, bought the wrong sneakers, and bathed with the wrong 2-in-1 shampoo plus conditioner. It was alright. I really wanted to be home earlier, working on my in peace. Stay with the sausage to the wall again? That's funny, Daniel. You should put that into one of your many spec scripts. It's so cool that you can paint. I suck at it. You can do it if you try. I might, lend you some supplies. What you'd really like is an invitation to one of those loft parties without having to learn how to paint. Sure, thanks. I will ruminate on that. Now, where did those eggs go? The fridge is more crowded than you expected. We'll have to look closer. Use the right mouse button to inspect the fridge. Oh, this is controller-friendly. I didn't realize it. Peering past the metropolis of Dale's Pale Ale cans, Rolling Rock bottles, and 3 different kinds of milk, you see the faint glimmer of an egg carton. Aha! I forget how much Dale's Pale Ale runs. I know Rolling Rock's dirt cheap, especially since Coors took over brewing it. You reach past the contents of the and that was like a couple decades ago. So, reach past the contents of the fridge to retrieve your egg carton, which you soon discover is resting precariously at a Costco-sized jar of applesauce. Having found what you need from the fridge, and trying hard not to let your eye fall on any other culinary atrocities, you close the door. So you have items in your inventory. Hover your mouse at the top of the screen to see them. Hello. You're pretty sure you bought these eggs last week, or was it the week before? Either way, they should still be fresh. You better cook them right away. Eggs last a while, if you're ever worried. Okay, let's egg the stove. There we go. Surprised the pan's actually clean. You crack your remaining eggs directly into the frying pan. They immediately form a giant viscous mass. Want any roe? No thanks. If I eat this early in the day, I should surely perish. That's relief. There's only enough for you and Daniel. Using a spoon, you effortlessly break the yolks, letting them merge with the whites as they cook. This contains a multicolored mixture as the different egg sections mix. You call this the confetti eggs method because every bite is a celebration. You can just do one and get eggs jubei. Thanks. You're welcome. I call these confetti eggs. Do they look insane? They look like the contents of my brain, yeah. Welsh's class today? Yep, you going? I might skip, I don't know. Not really happy with my piece yet. That would be unfortunate. You find when you find you can engage more deeply with the class when Daniel's there. Oh, you should come. It's more fun when you're there. It is? Yeah, dude. The whole discussion is more lively. But my paper's a mess. So is mine. Don't be a perfectionist. Alright, maybe. You go to class no matter what, of course. You can't be waiting around for Daniel to make up his mind. You finish your eggs as quickly as possible, trying to focus on your obligations for the day. You have to work a library shift and finish your paper before class. Alright, you wanted to ask Daniel about a topic Walsh brought up in class recently. What was it again? You've never had an easy time holding on to your ideas? Definitely autism coded. And now you're in college, at least ADHD, but probably ADHD. You've resolved to start writing them down. You bought a cute, tidy little notebook just for the occasion. Ever since you lost it, along with an equally cute pen, you've been taking notes on your phone. Here's where you store all your personal contacts. It's looking pretty bare. Certainly you know more people than this. I was hitting space and not clicking. Maybe I moved the cursor out or something. Maybe I have to add more names as you remember them. These are all the topics you're trying to remember. Okay, you've only collected one so far. It's manually picking those things for me, alright. If your cursor turns to the word balloon of a person, you can have deeper conversations with them. To ask someone a question, left-click the person and hold until the balloon turns white. You can even ask yourself a question. Why not? We already talk so much. Now, what did you want to ask Daniel about? Why does the world make more sense to Ro than it does to me? What club is she part of that I don't know about? Daniel's a good friend. I think I could be myself around him, I think. Hate that bitch. Alright. The city is incredible, but is it really the place I belong, or am I just locked in the commitment I've made? Do you remember what Walsh was saying about the city last week? Nope. Oh, well, it was something about how living here used to be really nurturing if you were a writer getting started. Uh-huh. But now Walsh says it's too expensive here, and all the interesting parts of the city have been scrubbed away, and we're basically living in the magic kingdom of piss. So like San Francisco was the first one that came to mind, but it could be a lot of places. You're like, worried about that? Well, not super worried. I'm just sort of having a miniature crisis over it. No, she's wrong. There are things that Walsh is wrong about. I know, but what a convenient argument for Walshy that all the good shit happened in the city when she was young. Huh. I hadn't thought of it that way. It's the best place in America to be a writer, hands down. How do you know that? Because we're here, dingus. You like your classes, don't you? School's all well and good. I just figured by now by now I would have made more connections, you know? Like with experienced writers, editors, publishing people. I hate to break it to you, but that's not a city problem. If you want to meet people, you'd better start talking to them. But it's scary. No, it isn't. Everyone loves talking, especially if it's a topic relevant to them. It flatters their intelligence. So I should talk to people only about their favorite subjects? How am I supposed to know what they like? You might have to guess now and then, but the more you talk to them, the more they'll let you know. What if I run out of things to talk about? Then you'd better get yourself some more talking points. Here's a free one for you. Movies. You can't go wrong. Everyone has a favorite. Okay, I do like that. Oh, and it even, like, text types it in. It's great. I think so, but man. Yes? This is why I became a writer, Daniel, so I wouldn't have to talk so much. Oh, well, your first novel is shaping up great. My what? You know, 10,000 Leagues Up My Ass. Hey. Talk to me about movies. You seen The Matrix Reloaded or what? Oh, fuck yes we are. Do you really want to live up to to its name? But, by its very nature, a sequel dilutes the power of the original? Nope. You? Not at all. You don't want to bother Rosetta anymore? She's getting ready for what you imagine is a much more fun and interesting day than your own. Doo-dee-doo-doo. It's a cool morning in the city, and you feel a moment's regret for not packing a jacket yesterday. But you've committed to dressing for warm weather, so your decision must stand. It's not like Mom was here to see the goosebumps on your arms. You exhale contentedly. You have just enough time for a quick leisurely walk before work. Okay, until recently, non-Applebee's establishments that served alcohol were practically invisible to you. But Weird O'Malley's is now a prominent feature on this block, enticing you to wonder just what you're missing. So we live above the Academy Diner. Below Daniel's apartment is the famed Academy Diner. Famed in the sense that many milestones of your young college life have already played out here. But how are they not in an establishment open 24 hours a day that happens to serve hash browns? Express Pizza has long been your favorite pizza spot in the city. Consider the reasons. It's located in the neighborhood where you spend all your time, and it's open. William Henry Harrison was built in the early 20th century, serving initially as a bootlegging house, and later a residence hotel for musicians and vagrant poets. It has since been converted into student dormitories, likes of your friend Theo, who frequently hosts open mic events at the local tiki bar. No one has ever been able to explain to you how this book stand operates in the middle of the street, nor how the vendor can afford to sell relatively... Oh, okay, that's the I again. I thought there was a period there. To afford to sell relatively new books, it's a significant markdown. Not that you can afford them, even then. You have most of your books from the school library. Do you still like? Yeah, I like a lot of it. But I have no money right now. When I do, it's usually for pizza. I know, I'm on here a lot. Well, the books out here to look at look pretty. Come back when you want to buy. You do trades? It'd be something pretty interesting. It'd be a pretty interesting book. Something I think I'd sell. Like a mass market paperback, or Harry Potter, or The Lovely Bones. Kid, despite my schmuck appearance, I happen to have taste. Thank you. With this bit of self-deprecation, your misgivings about the sidewalk book vendor melt away. Why would you shop at the big bookstores when you got the real deal right here? My bad, sir. I collect all manner of books, magazines, and printed curios. Bring me something interesting and you have your pick from my stash. Got it? Roger that. Roger who? You know, Roger, the way astronauts sign off. Astronauts, you mean actors? The Coast to Coast AM? Oh, no. Oh, yes. I don't think so. Check it out sometime. It should give you some good information. I'm always on the lookout for that. Thanks. Okay, well, we might get something different for the pigeon. You met Theo last fall at orientation and have been hanging out ever since. He's in his early 20s, having attended at least one college before landing at Sussex as your schoolmate. Theo and you share a neurotic quality that feels uniquely Jewish to you. While you appreciate this about him, it manifests in ways that are vexing. For instance, instead of disappearing into the darkest corner of himself, Theo externalizes his disquiet into nouveau causes and unbearable public performances. For this, and other reasons, you wouldn't call Theo one of your closest friends. But he's one you feel most comfortable glomming onto when you have nothing else going on, and that has to count for something, right? We go to the pizza place? Not that you wouldn't love to eat pizza for breakfast, nor would Express Pizza in their mercenary disposition, sorry. Hesitate to sell you a slice, but you've already eaten this morning. Okay. Weirdo Malice is closed during the day. Besides, you're not old enough to drink, nor do you have a fake ID. The odds are stacked against you, Mara. Even if you were old enough to enter spirits, wine and beer, you'd be massively intimidated by the cramped layout, bulletproof glass protection around the register, and the fact that selections must be vocalized to the cashier. You would much rather lay your items on the table and mutter. I've wondered what Dr. Z would do for you and your skin, which has certainly improved since puberty, but would never be described as prize-winning. Tight skin without surgery. If the timeline of your pot smoking can be described as a career, Papaya Hog was your first big break. Even now, the integrity of this oil-soaked snack stand brings a tear to your eye. They've never been closed. They are never out of matzo sticks. The staff have never looked upon your swollen red eyes. Papaya Hog is here for you. Papaya Hog is not here for the delayed consequences of your purchase. There are no refunds. Ravenous is here. You know the scratch for an arbitrary dog right now. The end of the block sits Patchwork Barbers, a supposedly legendary concert venue that you've yet to explore. Since most of the shows you'd like to attend are either 21 plus, over $35 for a ticket, or sold out upon announcement, you've all but given up on a good time here. Car seemingly abandoned, having sat in this spot for as long as you've been in school. It is one of the many stationary objects in an ever-moving city that confounds you. Doors locked. Patchwork Barbers is closed during the day. Okay, so we leave the block. The city, or it's often called the big city. This is the neighborhood where you almost exclusively hang out. It has everything you could ever need, from food and friends to great cultural experiences. Just try and find a better part of town. Not that you've tried. Coming from perfect tides in the mainland, the transit system still intimidates you, and you're pretty sure you've barely scratched the surface of what these few blocks really have to offer. The city is unlike anything you've ever seen. The people are open and direct, which you find familiar enough, but they're also completely unconcerned with your business. Back when you spent all your time on the internet, you longed for a physical world in which to move around invisibly. The city has provided. Here, at last, you can truly disappear into your pursuits. It's too bad living here is virtually unthinkable. Mom can't afford it. It'll be years before you can imagine selling your first novel, let alone writing for a literary journal or the local alt weekly. Until then, you are a visitor, relying on the generosity of friends with non-multi couches. This cavernous doorway leads underground to the transit station. From here you can ride the regional rail to the mainland and even, if you're brave enough, the citywide subway. I wanted to probably try to talk to Theo. See what else is going on here. It's a lot of city to take in here. Double Take Thrift is a secondhand store that sells, from what you can tell, a lot of dusty old antiques for way too much money. But you always make a point to stop in just in case something made after 1980 shows up. Last thing you purchased in the store was an unreasonably heavy but cheap Betamax player. Hell yeah. Which you excitedly dragged home on the train. You then proceeded to find 3 surviving tapes in Mom's storage locker. 1 washed out family camcorder video, a 6-hour compilation of network TV Christmas specials, and a pirated recording of Disney's Robin Hood, 1973, with Macrovision copy protection that you happily struggled through once upon a time. 419 East is one of the buildings leased by Sucks, where you spend most of your days. The past library is the school library, where we need to go, where you work, and a row of classrooms where you ostensibly learn. Read the sign. It's the arterial road of the neighborhood, allowing cars and buses to quickly cut through from east to the West Side Highway. You do not cross often. Hey, Theo.
Fish, what up, homegirl?
Theo's addressed you with the same years-long familiarity ever since you first met him at freshman orientation. At first, it was a comfort to your anxiety about making friends at school. These days... I was hoping we could start from the top. Whoop. Oh, well. Theo noticeably... Okay, they're having a party at the dorm. Maybe grease a few palms. Okay, anytime after sundown, tell the security guard. Give them my full name. Okay. Okay, you don't know Theo's full name, but you might want to figure that out. One out before the party, Miss Marple. Theo something. Okay. I'm sorry we skipped all that dialogue because I was hoping it would start from... we could restart from the top. You're from the West Coast, right? What do you think of the city? I mean, I'm probably going to pick up the full version of this, so we'll just catch up from there.
Oh, I like a lot of stuff here, but...
But?
Haha.
What?
Well, you East Coasters, you're all so impatient.
Impatient for what?
For
you to finish your sentences? Just spit it out, dude. Come on, I gotta run.
No, that's exactly what I would have said.
Eventually, it's softer words. Sounds unbearable.
Yeah, it's probably best to keep living here.
You know, this has been helpful. Thank you, Theo.
Oh, I'm glad. It's always nice when...
Your mind has already wandered through 10 other landscapes by the time Theo finishes talking. Who knows what this guy's on about?
You know what movie I just saw for the first time?
What?
This isn't a recommendation necessarily.
What movie?
Because it's honestly more fucked up than you think.
What's the movie?
But like in a beautiful way.
American Beauty.
What? How'd you know?
The conversation was getting kind of plastic baggy.
Well, I guess I can't surprise you, Mara. You've got the makings of a film critic.
This will be a high point of my day. It's all downhill from here. From the days before we knew about the star of a... Okay, we got this before too. Corner fruit stand is usually manned by Joseph, a Grenadian national with whom you have a friendly rapport. Though your produce buying habits don't diverge much, Joseph's stock of fruits and vegetables, at least, as fresh and varied as near as Morton Williams, is quite impressive. Dear demo user, eventually you'll be able to look at this person, just not today. Hi, Joseph.
Fellow Islander. There you are. I haven't seen you in some time.
You've assured Joseph more than once that being from Perfect Taz is a far cry from his island home of Grenada, some 2,000 miles south across the Atlantic. Still, his search for commonality is endearing and puts you at ease. He's also moved you to pay for more than one regrettable fruit experience at a tourist price point.
What would you like today?
Nothing for now. I have no money.
Oh, that is a problem.
Yeah, it certainly is, Joseph.
See you another day then. Bring news from home.
Sure. There won't be much. See ya. I wanted to look at the coffee place. There. The Kingsman is a small and chaotic book coffee shop hybrid. You rarely buy anything from here, or usually get your coffee from the school library break room. At night, the shop occasionally functions as an event space. We've never attended any of these functions, being ever intimidated by a small, crowded room, and the prospect of being in someone's way. Rainbows, the city's Ukrainian mainstay, is a premium dining experience, one that you often crave and can rarely afford. Last time you ate here was during orientation week, when Mom took you out for a concerned question-filled lunch, and you ate enough pierogies, in Mom's words, to choke a horse. forgot anger management was a movie. Oh, sorry. Unless you see everything here. You spent years of an easily accessible movie theater or dreaming of you spent years dreaming of an easily accessible movie theater and the freedom to see whatever struck your fancy. It is undeniably some kind of paradise. It is good to have a local theater. This is it's just the arterial road again. Okay, let's, I guess go to work. Yeah, because we hit question time with him. Is Adam. Hi, sweetie. Hi, Adam, what's up? Just thinking about you. Oh, I was just thinking about you. In truth, you were thinking about the paper you need to finish before work, but you thought about Adam when you saw his name on the phone screen, so it's not a total lie. You would never totally lie to him. You already in the city? Yeah, I had to get here early. You said a while back it would be best if Adam didn't know about your habitual crashes at Daniel's apartment. It's just too much paperwork. Adam always wants to know where you are and who you're with, and your male friends, the majority, require even more clarification. Okay, that's toxic. This is an unfortunate consequence of the distance between you and Adam. Sometimes feel as if you spend more time explaining the beats of your day than having real conversations. On my way to work, then class. Yeah, should we talk after class then? No, now it's fine. I think I might be going to like a party thing later. Yeah, a party? Yeah, like a party thing. With who? Oh, just some old school friends. Just a few people in the dorms. Oh, okay. When do you want to talk then? Got a few minutes if you want to talk now. Is there something specific? No, I just wanted to talk. I just missed you. I miss you too. Well, what did you do last night? Nothing. Saw the guys. Cool. He says that Adam is starting to brood. Well, I love you. I love you too. I could try to call my lunch break. No, I don't want to be in a rush. We'll talk when we can talk. You didn't think you were rushing, Adam, but it's true you have a busy day of school, or a busy day ahead of you, an ever-shifting schedule of school, work, and commute leave little room for the long language calls you used to have. I'm really sorry, Adam. It's okay. Don't worry, sweetie. I understand. Okay, I love you. I love you too. Bye. Now it's definitely time for work. You'd better get over to the Sucks building. Oh, we can ask ourselves about the other people too. I can't for the life of me remember his last name. Could it be written down somewhere? Adam and I have been dating for about a year now. I haven't been able to visit him since winter break. The distance really makes things difficult. It's a lot of the reason we fight, actually. If we could be closer, we'd be able to work things out more easily. But I have school, and neither of us can afford to move, so our sporadic visits will have to do for now. I know if we love each other enough, we can be patient. I don't know, he seems like kind of a pest. Okay, break coming up, so we'll actually go to work right after that. So, BRB. There we go. Had to get some caffeine, sorry that took a little extra time, but alright, to work. Check this bulletin board eagerly for the first few weeks of school, hoping to find fun events, freelance opportunities, and practical resources. Unfortunately, it's mostly used to promote boring-looking student exhibitions, off-campus rooms for rent at astronomical prices, and random clippings from the magazine Adbusters. I forgot that was around back then. School's lost and found box is rarely cleaned out, and its offerings are rarely claimed. Once in a while, after a grace period, because you're so decent, you help yourself to its contents. Can I rifle around? There's nothing of interest in the lost and found box right now. Second floor of the 419 East building is dedicated to all manner of sucks-related facilities. This includes classrooms, administrative offices, and the school library where you work. The rest of the building is dedicated to specialty medical office and luxury apartments. Honestly, that happens with a lot of office buildings. You take a look at the current offerings on the free cart. In general, these books don't tend to pique your interest. They're too boring for the library, after all. You're surprised when one particular cover catches your eye. You vaguely remember the author's name from a lecture in anthropology last fall. The essential... Not to be confused with the lecture on anthropology last fall, where you submitted a 2-page resume that named all of your written works and was bound by a creased corner. After a quick sweeping with your hand, which only serves to spread the grime on your body, you open it and read. Institutions, even those established originally with the object of security, equality, peace, and mutual aid, in the course of their time become petrified, lose their original meaning, and come under the control of the ruling minority, and become a constraint upon the individual in his endeavors for further development. Alright, I'm in. Hell yeah. This should be theory that I recognize, but... Anarchism owes its origin to the constructive... Oh, shoot. Well, I hope you pause that in the archive version and read about anarchy. It's pretty interesting. You never know what topics will grab you, especially while you're avoiding work. Unfortunately, your brief handling of the book costs so much for rereading that. Crumble to dust. Leave you with only the sparse knowledge you've already collected. Oh well, you better get to work anyway. I'm actually gonna hold up. Let's see if I can clip real quick. Oh, new topic. Anarchism. There's something about anarchism that appeals to me. I've been feeling kind of hopeless with the politics lately, but there's another path. Maybe there's another path. Mood. Okay. Behind the door is one of the many standard humanities classrooms that sucks. Oh. So far, you've had 2 classes in here. Jemima Walsh's Media Studies and Art History 1, taught by an irritable, long-haired man whose name you've already forgotten. In every semester, the trash can is simply never empty. You can't imagine throwing away your schoolwork as readily as some of your fellow students, but their joy of the ritual can't be denied. I was sought to such as look, even in warm weather. Next door is actually an entirely different building, full of medical experts and state-of-the-art imaging equipment. You have no business up there. Okay. As much as I'd like to go back, like, clip and read the anarchism thing, again, if you're watching the YouTube archive, just pause it. It's probably good. Well, actually, what I'll do, I'll put in the info for the YouTube version of this. So if you're watching this on YouTube, just look in the down below. I will copy the quote and try and find the book that it's from, because we should all be learning more about anarchism. Anyway, it's your boss, Gianna Schwartz. She's the senior librarian at the Suck Student Center. You report her at the start of every workday. John is kind, soft-spoken, and shockingly patient. She encourages you to work on your own writing in your free time, and has fielded more than one of your last-minute sick days with credulity and concern. This year, you're trying hard not to disappoint her. This is one of the handful of curated cases maintained around the library. Here you can see documents and publications related to the history of Sucks, as well as contemporary student anthologies. School library boasts a modest collection of VHS, pared down considerably from its former greatness. The plan is for every title to eventually be available, more permanently, on DVD. Given how bulky and low-fidelity cassette tapes are, you support the initiative for an all-digital archive. Still, you've noticed some lost or damaged cassettes falling through the cracks of the upgrade process. That's the VHS library again. I want to see the mural. You like this mural and spend an inordinate amount of time mapping its details with your eyes. Of course, you find yourself looking at the hardest when you have to do work around the library. Boredom is the mother of inspection. You feel awful not knowing the name of this guy who worked behind the circulation desk for months. He certainly knows yours. Brittany's been working in the library for years. When you met her during a school tour, she was still a student herself. Since graduating and taking on a library position full-time, she's much more passionate about her job and libraries in general. You'd love to share her enthusiasm, but your work-study hourly wage isn't exactly conducive to that. Area behind the checkout desk is where returns are held until someone, like yourself, has time to reshelve them. Oh, it's that kind of library work. Air is just one of the many things circulating in the desk. Ha-ha! Oh boy. Shelf is specifically for the work of current students and celebrated alumni. The gulf between the two is noticeably vast. This girl's frequently at the library, poring over the shelves. You have occasionally helped her with out-of-reach volume, a comical sight, considering she's at least half a foot taller than you. These chairs are new, uncomfortable, and rarely used by library patrons. You suspect the school added them as a colorful showpiece for the campus tours. And maybe to speed people getting the hell out. This journal is published by the school itself. It is meant to highlight the visual, written, and performing works of the graduating class of 2002. You and the rest of the school will get around to looking at it eventually. The shelves for works of literary fiction. While it rarely contains anything new, it is a rich source of classics you're ashamed to have not read by now. This shelf is for non-fiction texts. It covers everything from world history to contemporary design theory. Barring shelving work and specific class requirements, you don't spend much time looking at these books. This shelf is for the library's collection of periodicals. I guess what's behind it. You occasionally tuck in with an issue of Artforum and allow it to overwhelm you with a sense that the world is filled with incredible creative works. The thought alone, absent of digging through the works themselves, is enough to sustain you. Okay, but can we get info on this dude? This guy's always studying in the library. At closing time, the surprisingly intimate final stretch of your late shifts, he's frequently the last patron to leave. A more single, more desperate Myra would probably have tried to learn about him by now, but since your heart belongs to Adam, his pondersome face and unhurried perusal barely register. Given the lack of natural light in the school library, it would be impossible, insane, really, for this plan to be real. A cart with a giant precarious stack of books has been set up by one of the library employees. This is a poster promoting a department-wide design exhibition from 2001. Though dated, its aesthetic value cannot be denied. The library boasts many employee-made signs, each explaining the rules of the computer lab in a hip, fun way in which the youth can jive. You've been fond of this library ever since you toured Sucks in high school and found the space to be bright, lively, and extensive. That enthusiasm has inevitably dulled since you started working here. But occasionally some new corner, some hidden away collection, still lights that familiar spark. Why does my nose itch so much now? The permanent non-student staff of the library are kind to you, and often try to pick your brain about what the other students want. You've yet to give them much useful feedback. You recognize these two students because they're always together, always using the computers to scan their photography work. One time, you indulged your curiosity and peeked at one of the students' pages. It was a series of artfully nude photos of the other student, sitting mere feet away. Another day, when the other student was the one scanning, you glanced over again. This time, the photos, also nude, were of a young woman who you recognize as a frequent patron of the library. Although none of these people know you, or the images you've seen, you try to avoid looking or speaking to any of them now, reasoning that you've already unwillingly involved yourself in something of which you now know too much. Spend much of the school year on this computer, now consider a choice spot to work on your writing. Make no mistake, you still waste plenty of hours on here messaging, falling down mind-numbing internet rabbit holes, and browsing risky forums where horrible images can pop up at a moment's notice. The early aughts. This clock has now been working for some time. You've mentioned it to John on more than one occasion, and she's forwarded the information to the appropriate department, who has in turn forwarded it out the fucking window, apparently. This collection of popular fantasy titles. Prominently featured is Neil Gaiman's dark fantasy Coraline, Oof, and Aragon by Christopher Paolini. The latter was famously written by the author when the author was still in high school. The sight of this book makes you debilitatingly anxious, confirming your worst fear that your time as a writer is already come and gone. You'd prefer it doesn't exist. Okay, the shrimp was the journal. Anything else? It has occasionally been your job to curate the featured books table at the library. The current selection, not yours, features a disproportionate amount of genre fiction. The library is clearly trying to move books. Follow the money, man. Okay. Let's get to work. Mara, good morning. Hi, Jonna. You'll be happy to know I had a good night's sleep. Thank goodness for that. You know, you need more sleep than you think you need. I know. How can you know that when you think you know how much you need? I'm already mentally inflating what I think I need. Well, you need more than that. That's just not possible. I'm afraid I got quite a stack for you today. We're cleaning house for the spring, on top of giving campus tours all weekend. Ah, this is bad news. The morning downtime is one of your $8 an hour job's greatest perks. That's incredible pay. Or at least it's above minimum wage for a basic-ass library job in 2003. It would also be barely above minimum wage now. Hate this country. Alright, you're needed so infrequently that you've grown to depend on it. You'd planned to finish writing your paper for Walsh's class this morning. A large cataloging job will tie you up for hours, making a seamless jump from work to the classroom impossible. Come over here, I'll show you the damage. Okay. We are automatically being drawn to go here. It's only the first card. I've got more in the back. When is the last time these books saw the light? Shouldn't we be getting rid of them? They're all pretty old, it's true. I pulled a lot of them for donation, but most of these books are still germane to our programming. I'll be by the entrance if you have any questions. Thanks, Mara. Well, fuck me running. You know logically, and at least somewhat in practice, that you shouldn't be repelled by ancient texts. You are here to study the classics, after all. Still, there is something viscerally dull about dusty old books. As objects, they stir nothing in you. They can't compete with the potency of the now. Even the most mundane new works can invoke the flutter of life, while these objects sit dead, inert, a reminder of decay. You wonder if John would accept any reasonable excuse to beg off from this assignment. It would have to be a pretty good one. Okay. hate disappointing John, but sometimes my life demands it. What can I say? You really don't want to sort these books. There must be some way to convince John they don't need to be sorted today. Alright, well, time to botch that. Or maybe we can talk to our coworkers to get some extra intel. You do not wish to fraternize with the patrons. You take your position here quite seriously. Besides, you're pretty sure you saw some nude photos of this girl by accident once, and those would somehow be the first words out of your idiot mouth if you ever spoke to her. Oh, she was the subject of the photography. Hi, Brittany. Morning, Mara. What are you up to today? Oh, just really stimulating library work, I'm sure. It's true, these are exciting times. We've been cleaning house here. You feel guilty for being sarcastic when Brittany so clearly means it. Have you checked out the free book cart by the entrance? I've added a bunch of stuff this morning. Yeah, I actually found something cool in there. Awesome. Which book did you find? I don't remember the title. It was interesting, though, and it crumbled in my hands after I opened it. That doesn't really narrow it down. Well, I'm tasked with carrying its knowledge now. Wonderful news. Keep it safe. You're waiting for a good opportunity to catch this guy's name before you start a conversation with him, and his name inevitably comes up. You'd be getting exactly what you deserve, and you're a coward. What do you want to know? I've lived here my whole life. That's compared to the rest of the world. Mara, how could I possibly answer that if I've never lived anywhere else? Oh, right. That's it. I'm pretty sure it's the best place on Earth. I've been so busy lately, I can't remember the last movie I've seen. Let me think. Oh, I saw this one called The Family Man, Nicolas Cage. Not the one where he wakes up and suddenly has a wife and kids? Yes, it's sweet. Did you see it? Nah, I don't really like those movies with invisible overnight magic. Invisible overnight magic? Yeah, like the magic isn't represented by an image or a practitioner of magic or a world where magic is established. It's usually just some cheap sound effect in the score, like a sparkle. A sparkle? Yeah, like when Nicolas Cage goes to bed. Do you hear a little sparkle in the music? Or let you know his life has changed? I don't remember. That's probably how they did it. I hate that. Where'd the magic come from? Higher, more power? God? So the audience needs to accept the existence of God to accept the premise. Yeah, I don't like that. I would say you need to accept it. Maybe just not be overtly hostile to it. Yeah, I don't like that. Must mean a lot of art you don't like then. There certainly is. Why just yesterday, eh? Always nice talking to you, Mara. So I actually had an idea. Yes? About sorting the books, I mean. Oh, how exciting. I didn't think this would be the topic to do it. Oh, how exciting. I'm always asking student workers to bring me their ideas, but none of them ever do. Love to hear what you have in mind. Thank you. So you want the books to be cataloged? So how do you want the books to be cataloged? The thing is, I don't. I got the idea straight from this library. It was Kropotnik. Okay. From the works of Peter Kropotnik. Now, I feel bad. I said Kropotnik and Kropotkin. Well, traded in my card, just throwing myself in a ditch. Rest in piss. Peter Kropotkin, the anarchist? Ah, so you read him. Kropotnik would basically just be anarchist Robotnik, wouldn't it? It's been a long time, I admit, but what does this have to do with the library? Jana, let me ask you something. Say you're at a dinner party with a big group of people. Okay. When the meal is over and it's time to clean up, do you instinctively help gather up the dishes? Why, sure. Then you may already be an anarchist. It's intrinsic in all of us, you see, to contribute to society free of hierarchical bounds. Is the alphabet a hierarchical bound? I mean, sure, it helps people to find a book, but does it help them to find a book? There are hundreds of fascinating works on those shelves, each collecting dust in their appointed place. Books just waiting to blow some student's mind. I agree with you there, but it's up to the librarian to guide them to the right book. Again with the hierarchies, students are perfectly capable of motivating themselves to learn. In the wake of this declaration, something appears to shift behind Jana's eyes. It's as if some previously dormant sentiment, some forgotten dream, has been reignited. Well, Mara, if you have an alternative in mind, I suppose we don't need to sort those books. Great, thanks, Jana. I won't take up any more of your time. You'll bring me your proposal then, I trust? Your plan for restructuring the main stacks. I imagine you're looking for a self-managed approach. Yes. Great, well, why don't you get started on that while the library is still quiet? We'll have to deal with the book soon, of course. Can you present it to me tomorrow? Sure thing. Perfect. There'll be plenty of time to organize what you've obviously considered so thoroughly already. Should be. Great, thanks, Mara. Glad to see you taking the initiative like this. What on earth have you gotten yourself into? This is going to be way more work than sorting those books would have been. Your stomach churns with the thought of letting Jonna down with such a cheap scheme. You're going to have to see this through somehow. Okay. Well, you are in school after all. It was just a matter of time before you get an assignment, right? All of your writing projects will appear here, along with the information you need to submit them. You can access this menu anytime by clicking the notebook in the icon bar. Okay. More of this later, when it's time to write. For now, it'll be pushed to the jumble at the back of your mind, where all non-urgent matters go. Anyway, it seems you have the morning free. You can finally get online and prepare your schoolwork, in no particular order. Let's compute it. Do not use. Power on the iMac and log into your student account. Though not one coveted device just a few years ago, this computer has grown creaky. But for your uses, writing and printing, email, messaging, and browsing the web, it does just fine. Alright. Emails. Paper. Your paper is still a jumbled collection of ideas and no real editing, but coming back to it today, it's better than you thought it would be. This is the perfect opportunity to reorganize your thoughts. Okay. Time to start writing. Since this is your first time, let's do it together. Whenever you're at a computer, you can work on any of your assignments from this list. Since it's due today, and you're desperately trying not to think about the proposal, let's focus on city life and media. Once you've selected your assignment, click Write to begin working on it. For each assignment, you'll have a chance to draw from a total of 2 topics, one primary and one secondary. It's interesting to me that, like, they went with the Mac theme in the iMac, but like especially with the radio buttons. But isn't the X in the upper left on Mac Windows? It's been a while, but I could just be completely making that up. But stay relevant to this, unless I really want to go off the rails. Yes, well, take it easy with that. Not all assignments will have a clear primary topic, but when they do, your knowledge of that topic is the basis for a good paper. For instance, for your paper on life in the city, or city life media, you should probably choose the city as your primary topic, unless you really want to confuse your professor. That can be pretty funny. Ah yes, you're quite the puppet master, aren't you, Mara? When your writing is poorly received, it's because you intended it that way, yes? I was just joking about writing something bad. You fell right into my trap. Anyway, select our primary topic. The city. Hey, what's that rotating shape? Why, the contents of your brain, of course. I thought the contents of my brain were scrambled eggs. Well, it mostly is, but today we're working on that. Every topic in your brain has the chance to be developed. As you further your understanding of a topic, its shape will change. And that number in the lower left corner will go up. Exactly. When in doubt, using at least one developed topic can add a lot of flavor to your work. Got it. So complex ideas are better to write with than undeveloped ones. What if all of my ideas are undeveloped? Then clearly you haven't been reading, or conversing, or experiencing life. All ideas will inevitably develop if you explore the world around you. But my paper is due immediately, and I don't have time to experience any more life. That's frustrating, isn't it? On any given day, you will need to choose between collecting more ideas and delivering your work on time. Too real. It's on you to make the most of each day, while accepting the necessary compromises. Also just a good reflection of creative work, because like you can work on something forever and never finish or release it, or you can force yourself to stop and just make it happen, which is kind of what you need to do. All right, it's on you to make the most of each day while accepting the necessary compromises. So you're saying I can't have absolutely everything and no answers are concretely right or wrong? This sucks. That's growing up. And it will continue sucking with ever-growing urgency until death's sweet embrace. Let's finish being our primary topic now, shall we? Okay. Talk about the city. Hey, my topic changed color. This means you've already used it for this paper. Don't worry. It'll be available when you work on your next assignment. So I can reuse the subjects in my writing? Sure, why not? All writers ruminate on the same themes. Just don't lean on any one topic too much. You're still finding your creative voice, after all. Besides, if you repeat yourself often enough, people will eventually notice. Ah, there's the rub. Okay, now that you have your primary writing topic, the fun begins. It's time to combine it with a secondary topic of your choice. This can be anything you'd like. Anything? I'm on a deadline here. You can always take the safe route and stay relevant. For city life media, that would mean selecting a media-related topic. You see anything like that here? The movies. Good choice. You have plenty to say about the movies, and there's no shortage of city-related film topics to pull from. All right, let's finish this paper. I was kind of hoping they would let me key smash to finish it, but okay. Well, this isn't bad. Considering you almost lost this time to senseless library work, you've certainly made the most of it. After a quick read-through, you're satisfied with the paper. You are now ready to print. You send your file to the library printer. Once it comes out, you staple it together and take it with you. Well done. You finished your assignment in time for class. There's a good student in you yet. None of your top-shelf chat buddies are online right now. Just a bunch of secondary and non-recurring characters. Besides, you already used so much time to write your paper. One paper's all you have time for today. Besides, your brain needs a break. Do you have time for web browsing this morning? After a quick calculation of whether you deserve this, and I do, you navigate to the Blowtorch Media blog, where your go-to authority on pop culture and media. You quickly scan the week's album reviews to see if any new releases have garnered the coveted 1000% rating, or even a close contender to the 900-plus area. These albums tend to be of great cultural and historical significance. I probably could have added this as a topic to the people who read this Blowtorch review blog. Unfortunately, there are no new classics this week, but a couple reviews in the 800 range catch your eye. And records of this caliber rarely let you down. You have to download some new music at home. Better make a note of it. Aha! Better get back to things you actually meant to do on the computer. You could sit here and read about albums you don't intend to listen to all day. Guilty. Shortly after you finish your task, the library fills with students. You're kept busy for the rest of the morning with shelving, tech questions, and checkouts. Guess we go to class. Media Studies class begins the way it usually does, with you arriving early, claiming you're unsought after desks up front, and wondering anxiously if Daniel will show up. He does, and then another wave of concern washes over you. Your performance in this class is oddly staked upon both Daniel and Walsh's approval. You've never had a teacher you wanted to impress more. At the same time, Daniel is your only classmate who questions the educators that sucks in a way that seems pointed and not queerly individualized. Walsh, in light of this, is a formidable opponent. Even as Daniel pokes at the basis of her ideas, you can't help but see them for their gold. She seems unfazed by even his harshest interrogations. Why not show it then? Why does it have to be so artfully implied? Daniel, we all know you want to see more boobies. Fresh off the screen of the 2002 film adaptation, you've been discussing the outside demands, both recognizable and hidden, imposed on writers they craft to work for an audience. Now wait. Daniel may have a point. Why indeed? Whether it's books, TV, film, when the sex begins, the scene ends. We skip ahead to the aftermath. Why? Content restrictions. Well, sure, the media channel provides the budget and the distributions, and in turn we fit their standards. But what about the authors and directors who make this choice, commit this act of self-censorship, regardless of the constraints? I'm talking about films and novels for adults. Don't these, too, shy away from graphic or even outward depiction? And what about students? Free as they are to express such things, they often write very conservatively. We just don't want to give you our best material, Walsh. Clearly not. Hey, got his ass. My question stands. Is it possible that both artist and audience have trained their expectations? And with the proliferation of media in our lives, does that not affect how we engage with it? Wake up, guys. Put it another way. When it comes to the primal act in question, writers seemingly want to concern themselves with the events leading to its consummation and its aftermath. I posit that in turn, this is how we start to view sex in our own lives, a sort of blackout moment, a temporary loss of perception. Getting a little real, everything. I love this. It's a lot of reading, but it makes you think. We come to see intimacy as an inscrutable obstacle on an otherwise smooth narrative track. Something stories can only guide us towards. The rest is up to us. Can art not offer comfort and catharsis around sex as much as it does for topics like faith, struggle, and death? I mean, maybe it's not a useful part of the story. Maybe it's in bad taste. Pornographic. Okay, the gay LOL chair is great. What do we think? I'm trying to read what the Blackboard... why does it spell out feet? Mara, do you agree? All right, feeling, expression, experiment, or... Was it experiment or enhancement? I can't quite... The glare is messing with me, and I don't even know what the last one is. Tense? Teeth?
Is sex a useful part of storytelling or merely pornographic?
Useful. I think it's useful. There are things you can show rather than tell.
What sort of things?
Boobies.
Mara, what sort of things?
Well, like, what if there's shame involved or an experience?
So do you want to tell us, Mara?
No. So, fuck off. Daniel has some nerve. You know for a fact he has less experience than you do.
Guys, please. Now, Mara, I'm not trying to single you out here. I think you're onto something. The pressure to perform, and perhaps more urgently to report on our successes all around us. Who can claim to be immune? For your next essay, I want you all to think about the universality of desire, the ways and reasons we tend to suppress it, and what can be communicated in character, theme, and beyond through its expression.
I'm horny.
Please use any media you wish to flesh out your case. What will we do next class?
Okay, 2 days, so library proposals due tomorrow. Got it.
See you all in 2 days.
Alright. Good class today, thanks.
Sure thing. Did you hand in your paper yet?
Oh, right. Here's mine.
Alright, I look forward to reading it.
I hope you won't let your peers discourage you, Mara. Much to your distraction, you light up to hear Walsh address you by name. So few of your professors, let alone your favorite ones, ever do. Haha, okay.
It's not always easy to say what's on your mind in front of the class.
Thanks, I've been trying to have my own opinion, so ignore the popular consensus.
It's good to form your own thoughts, yes. Though I wouldn't discount what others say. The consensus has value to you, and the topics you write about. Your knowledge and your writing will grow richer if you can see a topic from many perspectives.
Even low-quality perspectives?
Haha, just keep it in mind. See you in 2 days.
Okay, bye. Okay. Walsh has never employed the noteboard or note-taking in any sort in her lessons, perhaps because they are so inherently broad and engaging. You can't help but absorb what she's saying. On the other hand, Miss Class feels like an entirely vanished experience, never to be recovered. You sometimes wish there were more words worth writing down, more for you to keep. Jemima Walsh, age indiscernible, is an accomplished poet, playwright, and novelist, and occasional screenwriter. She lives in the city and is your favorite teacher at Sucks. You find that Walsh's philosophies massively influence the way you write, act, and even think. Her presence would almost seem invasive if not for your desperate wish to emulate what she has achieved. So we still need to break free at some point. Nothing remarkable about the space, which resembles every humanities classroom you've ever seen at Sucks. The only thing notable about this particular room is the distinct smell of bagels and fried potatoes from the deli below. Like to sit at the desk, they are too visible while simultaneously doing nothing to distinguish you. In your work, and by extension your life, you aspire to be both hidden and breathlessly unique. The floors at Sucks are far better maintained than the ones at Beltog High. This was, to your dismay, the first observation you heard from Mom during your tour to the school. The instructor's desk is used so rarely that you wonder why the class even needs one. With the endless cycling of people, it would be hopeless to store or organize class materials in its drawers. Your guess is that the desk allows for some form of hierarchy, at least the appearance of one, between student and professor. It's also a handy place to lean one's ass while giving a lecture. Talk to me about anarchism.
Nice try, Mara. No student has roped me into a conversation about anarchy since the early 90s.
You were saying something about the city the other day, and I was wondering if we would talk about that some more.
Oh, what was it?
Remember you said the city is all cleaned up now? How it's a totally different landscape?
Oh, yes. Did that bother you?
Well, I just got here, and now I'm wondering if I'm in the right place.
Oh, Mara, please don't take it that way. I grew up here. We can't have the same lives, you and I. A place is always changing. That's inevitable. And just as inevitable are the complaints of its residents.
Haha.
That's how you know you're really dug in somewhere, when you know it well enough that it becomes unrecognizable.
Has anything stayed the same since you were young?
A lot of things are the same. There's real history here. Things I once took for granted that I love now. Do you feel that way about your home?
I don't know. Haven't gone back in a while. Too many bad memories, I guess.
Ah. Well, the city isn't the only place with a history with significance.
For me it is. It feels like my whole life has begun since I started here.
It's nice you to feel that way. I hope you make some good memories here. They might even help you make a sense of the bad ones.
Ooh, well, look at that. You learned something. Any type of conversation or your experience adds to your knowledge, your level on that topic will rise, and the shape of your understanding will change. Some of these shapes get pretty gnarly, eh? Collect them all. Do not give me a collect them all task. Movies. Seen any good films lately?
Let's see, I saw Typical last week. City of God, just spectacular, not to be missed.
Oh, yes, from 2002, right? Would you say it's one of your picks for the year?
It's not my anything, I just enjoyed it.
I mean, how does it rank?
I don't like to rank or categorize works of art. They are already commodified enough.
I love her.
But I'd never know what art to pay attention to if somebody didn't rank it. What's the alternative? Having conversations like these, I suppose.
The conversation trails off after this. You both seem to be similarly exhausted by it. I think like most of the top lists that I pay attention to, my end of year lists and stuff, are from creators that have otherwise discussed everything. The latest Movies with Mikey one was really good because it laid out all of the stuff that he watched over the course of the year with some commentary, and then ranked like the top 5 from that stack. So you A, hear about more movies, and B, have more context. Music.
But you think I'm only into the oldies? You'd be dead wrong.
Yeah, what new music do you like?
Have you ever heard Alicia Keys? That woman has talent.
Yeah, that album came out like 2 years ago.
Ha, well, in my defense, 2 years is not that long ago when you're my age.
Just try to keep you honest, Walsh. How deep into the topic of sex am I supposed to get for this paper?
I wouldn't get terribly personal, if that's what you mean. You can paint it in broad strokes.
That's sort of a problem for me. I tend to get terribly personal. The truth about my life always comes out. Again, mood. Details about your life don't always reflect the truth, at least not the truth you might have intended, so be careful with that. Righto. See you in 2 days. Well, it's about time to get to that party. Should have to the dorm building. We never did get that guy's name. I'm gonna hold off from the party just because we have other stuff to play tonight. But now that we know the writing mechanic, there's probably still one other thing that's supposed to go in here. But I'm into this. I already wish. Yeah, I checked and I already wish listed it. So absolutely need to pick that one up.